People like us, we don't need that much, just someone that starts the spark in our bonfire hearts.
I really was into painting Christ. That was a part of my search, to commit it to canvas. It's a matter of seeing, it's a matter of vision. My life before Jesus was a struggle, and it was. There was more unhappiness than there was happiness. As a child, I was kind of a loner and a tomboy, and I liked boys' games because they were more challenging. But I always felt out there, not with the program. Dad was a banker, and my mother was a school teacher. And so we had kind of a square box, and I stayed within it. It was forced church every Sunday, but nobody really talked about it. Parents have a lot to do with this. If they don't have a strong faith, you know it. I remember my friend Billy Reynolds and I used to play poker on the back seat, way back in the church, and it didn't mean anything. And I grew up without meaning anything, but searching. Searching. There has to be something real about this. I know there does. Have to be something real. I wanted to be first where I was, and that never happened, because that's the wrong reason to want something. And then I married into a family where first was everything. My brother-in-law was James Dickey, the poet. Running around with people who write professionally is not the strongest environment for Christianity. And my husband collected Civil War projectiles. We had 12.5 tons in the house that were loaded. Real bad fire hazard. And one time and I separated and were divorced. The insurance people came in over something, I think a storm or something, and he said, Ms. Dickey, are these what we think they are? I said, do you think that they're projectiles? He just looked at me, he said, you have 2 weeks to get this out of here. You're gonna lose your insurance. But we would have had the last battle of the Civil War, and it would have been aerial. My life has been mostly like that. There have been no peaceful times, terribly. I was struggling with the whole thing. I thought, what's required? What am I gonna have to give up selfishly? And always filled with doubt, wanting it to be real and being afraid that it wasn't. Even in the times when I thought I was an atheist or an agnostic, I was afraid not to believe. There was a lady named Louise Pence at St. Luke's. And one day, I think she sensed that maybe I wasn't finding it where I was. And I was liking less and less where we were going. She said, on Wednesday night, we've been going to the Cathedral of St. Philip's and listening to Michael Youssef. And she said, I urge you to go over there on a Wednesday night and listen. I made up my mind I would leave and just search churches. And that's what I did. I kind of crawled into the church the first time because I didn't want him to know, or them to know that I was there. And there were a couple times that I left early, but I did visit and love it. At first, I didn't really understand it because people were raising their hands in prayer. I'd never seen that before. I'd never felt the devotion to Christ before, as with this group. I don't know what Michael said, but we went up to the front. He called on the people who had found God, found Jesus. And I remember sitting down on the steps and just wailing. So embarrassed. When I wanted the earth to open up and let me just sink right on down, but it didn't. It was like I was searching always for this entity. And I think a couple times I came close, but not really. Because when I came close was here, and it was sort of like sunrise coming up over the ridge, slow, but it was sure, like dawn. I'm a Christian, I believe in him. And that's where I found it was right there, that Sunday that I fell apart on the steps. It was so much simpler than what I was trying to make it. I remember calling Michael one day. I'd found a book at the bookstore that explained the Bible. I told him what it was, and I said, is this something good that'll help me understand the Bible? He said, all you need is the Bible. Take it back. That's all he said to me. I took it back. And he's right. I was complicating things. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that he wants us not to be able to do this clearly and just use us. And the more we allow ourselves to be used for this good reason, when it's real, when it's genuine, the more help we receive. The things that we thought would hurt us before don't. That there's a lot to look forward to. Faith in itself is an individual thing. And as I'm telling myself, be patient. I'm a work unfinished. In the world today, when things are as they are, people don't have much hope. But there is hope. He is real. It's life. Living is life.
Starts the sparking up on fire.